I'm Matthew Shablavich for NYCMetalScene.com. I'm here with Dave Wagner, bass player for Abazagorath, Funebrarum and Evoken. Dave, how's it going, man?
Very good, Matt. How you doing?
All right, dude. So maybe you can tell me a little bit about the different band styles. In each different band.
It's Abazagorath is black metal, primarily influenced by the early forefathers: Venom, Slayer, Possessed, Bathory, and then also with the early '90s Norwegian stuff, Old Emperor, Old Dark Throne, Mayhem, a lot of Swedish bands like Marduk, early Dark Funeral, Dissection. So that's pretty much straightforward black metal, satanic,
old school kind of.
Old school black metal, raw, but also majestic and grand at the same time. Then Funebrarum is death metal, dark death metal rooted in the style of the early '90s, late '80s.
It's funny. We were just listening to that on the way here, and I was just mentioning that to Deborah on the car on the way here. I was like, this has definitely got an old school death metal sound.
We're
nice.
definitely heavily influeed by the early '90s bands, the original, old death metal bands. A lot of European stuff. Entombed, Nihilist, Carnage, Demolic, Demigod, and some U.S. bands like Autopsy, Incantation. And Evoken is doom death, influenced by a lot of the early '90s British bands like My Dying Bride, Paradise Lost, other bands like Skepticism and New York's Winter. So
it's definitely
every band I'm in has its own.
Right, exactly. I mean, a novice would say, "Oh, it's just all metal," but you got three distinct, different types of metal here, which is really nice. It's got to be tough too. I mean, to find a lot of time to.
That's been the tricky thing, especially lately. You got a job and try to maintain a social life.
Yeah, of course.
But and a lot of times in the past, I'd be busy with one band at a time. Abazagorath was my main thing for a long time.
Right.
Then Funebrarum came in, and there were periods of time when I was doing both bands. And then I joined Evoken in 2008 when there was kind of a hiatus with the other two bands. So at the time, this is my one band I'm working on. Last year was a little different. 2011, I actually did gigs and recordings with all three bands.
Damn.
So that was a little bit different.
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
So we do a lot of juggling.
Now, you just came back from Europe with a Funebrarum, I believe.
Yeah.
And I know you've played Europe many a times with your bands.
I've been lucky to play in Europe with all three bands.
That's great.
Abazagorath did a 2-week tour in 2004. Evoken, I did a tour with them in 2009, about 2 weeks. Then Funebrarum, we did this festival in Denmark, Killtown Death Fest in September. So all three bands at least have been to Europe once.
Yeah, that's
pretty cool.
Let me ask you this. What was one thing that may have surprised you in any of those tours, or maybe something that you haven't really seen in the States at some of the shows, as far as the crowd goes, or if anything?
I'll tell you what.
Or is it more or less the same?
One of the things, I think the fans there are more dedicated. The turnouts, generally, for underground bands on tour, some people may not have seen you before. You may have thought we're just going into a town in Germany. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
The turnouts are really good, and people are really into it. Not to say people over here aren't.
Right, yeah.
But I think it's a little more accepted, a little more ingrained in their culture, a love of metal, and the fans are more into showing it and coming out and supporting.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people would dispute that fact.
So it's really awesome. I think that's where metal lives.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a nice scene here in New York City.
Trust me. Yeah, New York. I mean, of course, it's the greatest city in the world.
Right.
So obviously, you're going to have good shows, good bands coming through, and good bands locally. But I think people in Europe are. It's like they're metal. They're into it. They're fucking diehard. They got the denim.
Yeah, the old school black denim. Yeah.
They go to a show every fucking day.
Right.
They go crazy. They fucking drink like animals.
Yeah.
They just live and breathe it. So I think that's the main difference. And we've kind of felt like we're at home in a way. We're to play for example, one of my bands might play over here, and maybe you might have a bad turnout, 20, 30 people. We play a place in Europe. Place the size of my living room, there's 120
people
in
packed
there,
in there,
and it's like
going nuts.
That's
cool.
Really an amazing feeling. It makes it all the hard work and all the shows that nobody shows up, and all the shitty nights you don't get paid.
Yeah, it's
it
tough.
It makes up for it.
Yeah,
it's experiences like that. So
absolutely,
pretty awesome. You know.
And finally, for the 3 bands that you play bass in, what holds in the future for them? Any upcoming LPs? Anything coming up?
We got all kinds of stuff going on. Abazagorath, over the summer, recorded a new 5-song EP. I think it's the best stuff we've done.
Nice. He's had some nice stuff.
The label's going to be Diabolus Services. There's a little bit of issues he's had some issues lately, but we were hoping to have the EP out already like maybe a month or 2 ago, but we're still working with him, so hopefully it comes out early next year. We did a couple of gigs over the summer that were really good, and a gig in Jersey in November. Hopefully some more stuff in 2012. Funebrarum. We're actually doing a European tour, the biggest tour I've done yet, almost 3 weeks in February, with a Danish band called Undergang, through connections we made at the Killtown Death Fest in Denmark in September. And we just recorded a song for a split 7-inch with the Undergang that's going to be like sold out on the tour.
Nice.
So that's going to be got the tour, and hopefully after that we're going to keep working on some new stuff. So maybe we'll record again in 2012. And Evoken, we're actually tracking our new album right now. We started back in November. We did the bass and the drum tracks. With the holidays, took some time off, and we started tracking guitars next week. Nice. And that album will be out on Profound Lore from Canada, which is a really great label. And and then we got some really killer shows lined up for May and June that I really can't give too many details
I got you.
But really good stuff.
Well, be sure I'll have them up on nycmetalscene.com. They will all be up there.
There's definitely stuff going on in New York, and we got some really cool stuff. A lot of good bands we're playing with. So
cool.
So I got a lot of good stuff coming out.
Be on the lookout for that, everyone. All right, this is Dave Wagner, Abazagorath, Funebrarum, Evoken, Matthew Shablavich, NYC Metal Scene. Yeah.